Let us understand the different modes of passing parameters. First is the in mode. This is the default mode of passing parameters. If you do not explicitly specify a mode, this will be the mode it will be passed in. The actual parameter value is passed in, and inside the procedure or the function, the parameter is in the read-only mode and behaves like a constant. What this means is that you can only read its value, but if you try to write to it, Oracle will raise an error. So in this code snippet, we have declared a function update_emp, which takes in two parameters, pempid with the in mode specified of type number and the pdptname of type varchar2. Notice I have not specified the mode here, and so it defaults to the in mode. The function returns a number. Then we have a cursor curgetDPTID, where we are selecting the department ID from the departments table for the past department PDEPT name. We declare LDPTID of type departments.dptid%type to hold the result of the cursor. Inside the execution block, we open curgetDPTID, fetch it into LDPTID, and then close it. Then we update the employee table and set the department ID with the fetched LDPTID, where EMPID is the passed PEMPID. We then commit our changes and return a successful status of 1. In case of an error, we have an exception block with the when others exception handler, where we print the error message, roll back the changes made, and return a failure status of 0 to the client. Let us see how we can pass parameters. In this code snippet, we have an anonymous block where we have declared LEMPID of type number 10 and given it an initial value of 50. LDPT name is of type varchar260 and given an initial value of IT. L status to hold the result of the function invocation is of type number. In the execution block, we assign to L status the value returned by calling the function updateEMP. We pass in parameters LEMPID and LDPT LEMPID is assigned to PMPID and LDPT name is assigned to PDPT name similarly. Inside the function, their value gets read at various places. The return value is assigned to L status and no change is made to the values of actual parameters LEMPID and LDPT name. Note, if inside the function we try and assign a value to PEMPID, Oracle will raise an error during compilation that expression PEMPID cannot be used as an assignment target. Since the in parameters are read-only, you can also pass literals as parameters as shown in this code snippet, where we pass 50 and IT directly as input parameters. In the out mode, the actual parameter value passed to the procedure or function is ignored. It is assigned to the formal parameter as an uninitialized PL/SQL value and thus has a value of null. Inside the subprogram, you can read and write against the formal parameter. Of course, reading it initially will result in a null value. Inside the procedure or function, you assign value to the out parameter, which is then copied over to the actual parameter. Since we need a variable to receive the value returned by the out parameter, we cannot pass a literal to it. A constant variable by definition is constant and its value cannot be changed. So it also cannot act as a receiver of an out parameter. So in this code snippet, we have the same function updateEMP we looked earlier. It takes PEMPID and PDPTID for parameters. In addition, it now also takes pLocation as an out mode parameter of type varchar2. Inside the execution section, we first read the value of pLocation and print it. We execute the update to the employee table, updating employee department ID to PDPTID for employee ID equal to PEMPID, and then using the returning clause, get employee location and assign it to pLocation. You could assign value to the out variable any way you like. We then commit and return 1 for status code. Now in this code snippet, we declare LEMP-ID with a value of 50, LDPT-ID with a value of 1, and also declare LLocation of type varchar210 with an initial value of CA. Inside the execution section, we call the updateEMP function passing the 3 parameters in order and assign the return value to LStatus. We then print the value of LLocation and LStatus. So even though we are assigning a value to LLocation initially, it will be passed in as a null value to PLocation. Running this block will give us a result of location initially with a value of null, return value of WA for LLocation, and LStatus as 1. So this way we are actually returning back 2 values from the function, LStatus, which it returns, and LLocation, which is an out parameter. We cannot pass a literal value of CA for PLocation parameter as we need a variable to hold the return value. The in-out mode is a combination of the in and the out mode. So like the in mode, the actual parameter value is assigned to the formal parameter and passed inside. And like an out parameter, it is both read and write. Results assigned to the in-out parameter inside the procedure or the function are copied back to the actual parameter in the calling client. Just like out parameter mode, you cannot pass literals or constants for an in-out parameter to a procedure or a function as it needs a variable to hold the return value. So continuing with the same example we have been seeing, let us extend updateEMP to also have an in-out parameter. To demonstrate usage in a procedure, let us write it as a procedure instead this time. If you have been following along trying these examples, you will have to drop the function updateEMP first before you can create the procedure updateEMP, as Oracle will complain that an object with the same name already exists. Here, along with PEMP-ID and PDPT-ID input parameters, PLocation out parameter, we are passing an additional parameter PStatus in the in-out mode of type number to hold the final status. In the execution section, we update the employee table, updating employee department ID for PEMP-ID, and then using the returning clause get EMP location and assign it to PLocation. We assign the value of 1 to the in-out variable PStatus. Inside the exception section, in the when others handler, we assign PStatus a value of 0. Now in this code snippet, we declare LEMP-ID with a value of 50, LDPT-ID with a value of 1, LLocation of type varchar210 with an initial value of CA, and LStatus as a number with an initial value of -1. Inside the execution section, we call the updateEMP function passing the 4 parameters in order. We then print the value of LLocation and LStatus. So for LStatus, the initial value of -1 will be passed inside updateEMP procedure and it can be read there as such. It gets assigned a value of 1 on successful completion and 0 on unsuccessful completion. Running this block will give us a result of PStatus initially -1, LLocation with return value of WA, and LStatus with a return value of 1. So this way we are returning back values using a procedure. We cannot pass a literal value of -1 for PStatus parameter as we need a variable to hold the return value.